And it's a bonus beans. It's a bonus beans. It's a bonus beans. It's a bonus beans. It's a bonus time for you. Cause you're getting something you didn't know was coming. It's extra fucking credit for your bitch ass beans.
Bitch ass beans.
You bitch ass beaners. And I'm not just talking about the Mexican listeners.
He's talking about everyone. Beaners is a term for all of us.
That's right, it is. Yo, what's up? Saturday. Oh my God. Bonus episode. Bonus beans. Coming at you live right in your motherfucking grill, dog. What's up, beaners? It's a bonus one for you. And this is a special bonus. This is a very, very special bonus. Now, you're looking at the title of this movie and you're like, either, what is that? Or you're like, oh my God, he's doing like this favorite movie that of mine that nobody knows about.
A lot of episodes are like that. What makes this so special?
This one is different. This is a first in Spoil the Beans history. This is a first. This episode today is brought to you by one of you. A beaner himself paid for this whole episode today. A Mr. Will Peacock. What up, Will?
Peacock?
He's peacocking. He literally is. This is the definition of peacocking as a beaner.
Will Peacock is actually a hardcore beaner.
This is an OG beaner.
I see him in all the chats.
He's in all the stuff. I knew, certain names come up. There's a lot of you.
There's a couple of you guys.
There's a couple of you that are like diehards. You ride or motherfucking dies. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This guy is one of them. And today's episode, for the first time ever, is brought to you by him himself. He paid for this.
Why did he pay for it, Deric?
He hit me up. I didn't know this was an option, but this is now an option to all of you. He hit me up, Mr. Will Peacock, and said, hey, how much to pay for you to do a movie that I want? And I said, what are we talking? I'm for fucking sale.
He is. I think we covered that on the last episode.
Hey, Bean Mafia, I am legitimately for sale. I never thought about it, but if you want a movie that you want to see, I don't give a fuck what it is. If there is a movie you want, you can have your own episode.
You can.
Sponsored by you, by Will Peacock. This whole episode is brought to you today by Will Peacock for the small price of $100. Now, I know you're thinking, Deric, $100, how'd you get there? I didn't get there. I would have done it for a lot less. You fucked up, Will, if I'm being honest with you.
But y'all can thank Will.
But you can thank Will for setting the price, because now there's no lower. I'm only doing it for this.
We are now 5-minute horror.
Nope.
This is an hour and a half episode.
You're getting a real episode. You're getting a fucking full deal movie, so you got to pay for it. And it's an extra episode. It's not like I'm not taking away from the episodes that I'm doing that I choose. Mm-hmm. It's my podcast. But there are now 4 weekends out of the month. If you want to buy an episode, you're more than welcome to. $100. And I will tell Sam whatever the fuck you want me to tell her. You want me to tell her a music video? You want me to tell her a documentary? You want me to tell her a fucking porno? Your favorite porno? Pay $100. I will watch it and break it down for her better than anyone else on planet Earth.
It's also just good for the beans in general because now we're doing more episodes, so you get more episodes.
Yep. So if you
all do this, there'll be 3 episodes every week.
And you can and luckily it's whatever you want or what some other person wanted. Mm-hmm. So it's very specific things.
But if you've already done it, you just have to go back and watch that episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do it as much as you want, but I mean, it doesn't mean you'll have to wait until it's your turn again, whatever. But
no, I guess I meant like if they're like, do I can't think of any of the episodes you did like a year ago.
Oh, like Terminator 2.
Yeah, do Terminator 2. It's like, well, just go
back and watch
episode.
it. Stop being stupid. And you're also a new listener, and that's on you to go back and look through the episodes. Because some people do that. Some people are like, oh my God, and they'll send me like all the episodes they listen to, and then they'll be like, man, you got to do White Men Can't Jump. And it's like, do your fucking homework, Playboy.
Also, just get on YouTube, type in Spoil the Beans and the movie you like.
Or Spotify or iTunes.
Spotify and iTunes.
And you'll know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's a lot of episodes. It's over 200. So I get if you don't want to go through all of them. But we've done a lot of them. Okay? Point being, you can pay for this. $100, and I will tell you whatever movie for a bonus episode. And not no Patreon bullshit. This isn't just going to the people who pay money. Fuck that. I don't do that shit.
Everyone's going to see this.
Everybody gets it. All the beans get it, bro. I don't play that. If you're a Bean Mafia person and you ain't got the money for certain shit, I totally understand. You still going to get your 2 episodes a week or 3, depending on if another beaner wants to buy one. Or if I'm in the mood to do bonuses, because I always still do bonuses. And guess what? Now that some people pay for an episode, if you want to buy an episode, there might be 4 episodes some week.
Yeah, because
there could be 4. Because I might already filmed a couple bonuses for you. You know what I mean? There's still lots of ideas. You guys remember we did Harry Potter. You remember that we did the Airbender. You know what I mean? We've done a lot of fun, crazy things for you, and we have a lot more fun, crazy things to do. But if you want to buy an episode, like Mr. Will Peacock, shout out to you, sir. All you got to do is pay for it.
He's a good man.
Also, the episodes are also brought to you by, of course, our everyday sponsors, Mr. Darren Bates. You want to do something for me and for the Bean Mafia, you go to Instagram, you type in DAREN BATES, Darren Bates at Westlandson_56 on Instagram. And all you got to do is send him a beautiful message and say the Beans sent you there. That's it, Sam.
That's all you have to do. We're not asking for much.
And you know what else? If you like podcasts,
check out his podcast, The Raw Room.
It's available on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. However you're listening to this right now, go listen to Darren Bates' podcast, The Raw Room. I'm on it. People like Will Compton from Bustin' with the Boys. People like the guy who played Simba and the guy who sang the songs in The Lion King for Simba.
The guy, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he got him on his podcast. I mean, he gets a lot of cool random people, man. It's fucking awesome. It's a good pod. I love it. I love being on it. Go show our boy some love. Again, Darren Bates. He's also on Twitter at DBTray5. Go follow him on Twitter. He does cash giveaway sweepstakes.
Ooh.
Literally, he gives away $100 to if you listen to the podcast and you do like if you subscribe or you get like 2 of your friends to listen and they screenshot it on their phones. Like he gives cash away.
You guys should do that, and then they can use the $100 to pay for another episode.
And now it's not costing you anything. Now you're podcasting and you're getting shit done at the same time.
Somehow you have become the podcast producers.
Yeah, you can produce this podcast like Mr. Will Peacock. He gets his name shouted out this whole episode.
We also want to shout out Hidden Village Customs.
They make amazing graphic tees. Hidden Village Customs. They also are paying the bills this episode. Hidden Village Customs. They make amazing, awesome graphic tees from the Bay Area. I mean, it's mix,
good quality.
Yeah, great quality, and they mix cool things like anime and like
athletes.
Athletes.
That's the word, not sports
movies
people.
and just like characters, like big figures in pop culture.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like legit really cool. Again, Hidden Village Customs on Instagram at Hidden Village Customs. Order your shirts. They're sending us some ones, so we can't wait to wear them for you guys so you guys can see them. But go check out Hidden Village Customs. Go send them a message and say what, Sam?
Tell them the Bean sent you.
I know a guy sent me a message today, and he apparently followed them because he officially found out that Gabe, the owner of Hidden Village Customs, is not a pedophile.
That's good.
He's not, thank God. So go follow him. It's not that it was up for debate, but sometimes you don't know. But go follow him.
We don't know.
Go show him some love. Hidden Village Customs. The Bean sent you. That's all we ask you to say. Samantha, are you ready for an episode today? Now, I have never seen this movie or heard of this movie. The movie we're doing today.
I'm kind of curious if I know what it is.
Right? Because what if
I'm
you've seen
weird.
it? Could have seen it. She could have seen it. That's the risk you take on the bonus. No, I'm not kidding. I knew she didn't see this. That's why. If you want to pay for a movie, I'm not going to fuck you over. I'll make sure she hasn't seen it, or I'll do it with somebody who has. I got you. But, Samantha.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, because maybe you know and I don't, what you think happens in the movie I've never seen until this morning, never heard of until this morning, like until today, that Mr. Will Peacock paid for himself. Will, this is for you, buddy. Sam, what happens in Sing Street?
Sing Street. I feel like it's like a gangster movie. Like like a Gangs of New York type situation, like it's or a Peaky Blinders,
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Like they all
get out of my blinds, you peaky fool. Isn't that what that show's about?
It is about peeking through blinds, and the people blinding them when they're doing it.
I'll blind you, you peeking my Peaky Blinders. What happens?
I feel like it's about like some kind of gang, sort of like a. Like an old school kind of, like a Peaky Blinders gang, like we gotta wear little hats.
They wear their little hats, their little driver's hats.
They're all probably Irish in my Sing Street. And they like stab people all the time because no one has guns. Yeah. And
get over here so I can give you one in the wanker.
Uh-huh. And then there's like a young guy who like he wants to be in the gang. And actually, I feel like this is just another movie, but with like Italian people.
That's usually what all your movies are.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a young guy. He wants to be in the gang, and he can't get in the gang. Okay.
Oh,
all right. So he's trying to get in the gang, and his friend's like, "No, you don't want to be a part of this.
You don't want to be in the Peaky Blinders. You might blind your eyes out."
Yeah. That's what he's like. And then, so he gets so upset that he starts his own gang.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
And it's just like young children, young Irish kids.
Ooh, like the Golden Lords, but the Irish Lords.
I like that. I was thinking more like an Oliver Twist type situation.
Oh, those kind of little Rembrandts.
Yeah, and he's like a younger version of what's his face, dun, 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 da, 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 da. Who's the guy who like owns all the orphans in Oliver Twist?
Oh, Mr. Fagin.
Fagin, like he's like a younger version, like a cooler, hipper Fagin, like a 20-something, which is also like kind of pedophilia.
So this is an Oliver Twist mixed with Gangs of New York kind of movie.
Yeah. So then this gang,
which I guess is Oliver Twist, pretty much Gangs of New York.
They're kind of a gang.
Yeah.
I think I'm just taking things from other movies and putting.
That's what you do every time. It's okay. You don't have to explain. I guess to the new listener. Yeah, she hasn't seen it.
This is hard for me.
Well, this was hard for everybody because I don't even know what the fuck this is.
And then, so it gets to the point where, so now his friend who was trying to keep him out of the gang to keep him safe has become the leader, and they have to like fight each other in the end, and it all happens on Sing Street.
Ooh, it all goes down on Sing Street?
Of course, like they all live on Sing Street, and that's like a focal point of the whole thing. You know how like in Gangs of New York, the five corners is
the five corners.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay. You were 99% wrong. So you're normal.
Okay.
The 1% you got right.
Yeah.
This is an Irish movie.
I knew it. I knew it was Irish. I felt Irish. Something about sing and street. The fact that it was on a street.
Or about a street.
About a street. I'm like, I know Irish
It's
people.
an independent Irish movie. And you asked me earlier, Samantha asked me earlier, Will, she said, well, Deric, did you like it? Because I'd never seen it. And usually the whole point of this podcast is me telling all of my favorite movies to people who haven't seen them. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. So every episode, I love the movie. That's always the case. Today, I also love the movie.
I knew it.
This movie is Will, this movie's fucking awesome, dog.
Earlier, he wouldn't tell me if he liked it or not, and I was like, he loved this movie.
I couldn't tell her. I would, even if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have told you. But this movie is legitimately incredible. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is actually like, it's not just me. It's critically acclaimed. It's a good motherfucking movie, and it's Irish as shit. Everybody, it's a small indie Irish movie.
There's some Irish person in this that I've seen in other things.
Yes.
I love Irish actors.
Irish actors are good. When did this come out? This came out I wanted to tell you when it came out. 2016, so not too long ago. This is a recent movie.
Oh, okay.
This is a newer. This is like it's extremely new.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Movie starts. We see a young kid playing a guitar. Okay. We hear people arguing, like two parents arguing in the background. Like he's in his bedroom, and you hear two parents arguing in the background. Okay, and he's trying to sing to himself, and he can't because they're so loud. Fuck you, you fucking, yeah, you don't fucking do shit. And as you hear the parents, right, and he slams the door, and he keeps playing, and then you hear the dad go, if you're the mom, go, if we didn't share a mortgage, I'd leave you. And he goes, if we didn't share a mortgage, I'd leave you. And the dad's like, you fucking leave anytime you like, you stupid bitch. Leave anytime you like, you stupid bitch. Like he's just singing it, right?
How old is he?
Oh, he's a kid. He's like 15. He's 15.
Okay.
Dublin, 1985.
Love it.
Time period piece.
Sweet.
Right? The kid,
you said it came out in 2016?
Yeah.
It's just like the same time that we went to go see that movie about the guy who, it was like all the Beatles.
Yeah, I like that movie. You didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Yes, it was around the same time.
Okay.
But this is a small budget movie.
I mean,
it looks amazing,
that was
but
a
it's
small
smaller
budget movie too.
Yeah, it was, but it was in major theaters and stuff. This wasn't in theaters.
You sure? I remember hearing about this.
How?
I don't know. I just when you said Sing Street, I was like, I've heard of this before, and that's why I think I knew it was Irish.
It must be a cult classic because it's not a big movie. I've never heard of this. I mean, no one's ever talked about this.
Ollie, did you guys hear about it?
Yeah, you tell me
Yeah.
if you heard about it, Bean Mafia. So the kid, he's watching TV, and his parents are watching. It's like people talking about people immigrating out of Ireland and all this shit. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting at a table with his family, and his dad is Littlefinger. I told Sam earlier, there's somebody in the movie. You don't know his name, but if I say the character, you're gonna be like, I know this motherfucker.
Because Littlefinger isn't just Littlefinger's been working forever. He was in The Wire.
Mm-hmm. No, Littlefinger's a great actor. He's in a lot of stuff.
He's amazing.
But he's Littlefinger now.
He's
forever.
definitely Littlefinger now. But in The Wire, he's supposed to play like Martin O'Malley or like a famous Baltimore mayor or something.
Well, also, this is why he's Littlefinger.
Or like a portrayal, sort of. Sorry.
No, it's okay. He's a great actor, and he has done a lot of stuff. He's a character actor too, which is why he's so good. But what I like about him, or anybody where I say I only know them from one thing, it's like he's not Littlefinger because Game of Thrones is so big. He was Littlefinger. That's why he's Littlefinger. Him and Var, like fucking Peter Dinklage, like those are the best characters on the show. You know, Tyrion, like those were the best characters on the show. Like and I mean, actually everybody, because Jaime,
everyone's
Cersei,
great. The whole
and that's
show,
who they are.
Everyone's amazing.
Everyone, Jon Snow.
There's only like a couple of weak links, and even they get better as the show goes on. They get way better as the show goes on, like Sansa. Yeah, that was only in the beginning, and I feel like it was you're not supposed to like her character.
Arya was great the whole time.
You like her character. She's always likable. Sansa's not likable in the beginning.
No, Sansa becomes likable.
Well, you respect her.
But even the characters you hate, like Joffrey and Ramsay, they're still
amazing.
Unreal. But it's
Ramsay's
not
maybe
just
the
because
best.
the show was big. It's like, no, these people, they got actors.
So Littlefinger's in it. What does he look like in this movie?
Littlefinger.
Because he always he's got the little mustache?
Yep.
Okay.
He looks exactly like Littlefinger.
All
Gray
right.
hair, like the little black gray hair.
Uh-huh.
Everything. So the dad's talking to him. He's like, your mother and I have been under a lot of pressure at the moment. And I'm British. Irish is
You gotta sound drunker.
He's like, your mother and I have been under a lot of pressure at the moment. It's like that.
It's
Your mother and I have
like
been under a
that.
lot of pressure at the moment. And he's like, I haven't made a single commission this year. And, we looked at our accountants and we're going to have to put you in the education situation. Like in an education situation. And then he's like, what? The little kid's like, what? And so it's a younger sister, him, and an older brother. Uh-huh. Okay? Like that's the kids. All right? The older brother's like grown though. He's like living in the house still, but he's grown.
Yeah.
Okay? And the brother's like, oh, you're taking him out of school, ain't you? And he's like, what? Why are you taking me out of school? He's like, no, we're not taking him out of school. We're sending him to another school. All right? One that we can afford and it'll be better and we'll get a little money for him going there. Mm-hmm. You might have heard of it. He goes, you might have heard of it, son. It's the Christian Brothers School.
The Jesuit school.
Yep. He's going to a Christian Brothers School. And he's like, oh, he's pissed. He doesn't want to go. Right? And the brother talks about, oh, he's going to send him to a Christian Brothers school where they beat people and turn them into like a crazy religious nutcase. And he's like, oh, you shut up. And the other kid's like, and they rape their students, Dad. And he's like, no, you will learn to act manly. You will go to a Christian school. And that's that. And you're like, da-da-da-da-da, like rock music kicks in. Da-da-da-da-da,
When you heard he was going to a Christian Brothers school, did you freak out?
Oh, I was like, what is this movie?
Deric went to a Christian Brothers
I went to Christian Brothers school. Will. So I was like, what the fuck
He
is this?
immediately is connected.
I was immediately like, where is this going? You know what I mean? So we see him walking to school. He's got his prep outfit on, right? Mm-hmm. And the other kids are looking at him all weird. And it's just a little bunch of Irish wankers. You know what I mean? They're just fucking ravaging. They just fight a fight. He walks by a fight. Motherfuckers are throwing like rats and shit, smoking cigarettes, drinking. Like they're just bad kids.
All the reasons we love the Irish.
The reasons we love the Irish. So the kids get in the classroom and they're wild as shit. Like one kid smoking in the class. The teacher's like drinking. Like one of the brothers, he like pulls out a flask and drinks. Everybody's talking, and then a brother walks into the room, like a principal kind of brother, and everybody buttons up and like stands up. Morning, Brother Baxter. Sing Street.
Wow.
Okay.
Huh.
So he starts talking, right? And he starts talking to the professor, and we notice like he's supposed to be teaching Latin, and the professor's drunk, so he's teaching French on accident.
Okay.
And he's like, it's supposed to be a Latin class, brother boy. And he's like, oh, was I not teaching Latin? Right? And then he asks Connor something, and Connor knows the answer. He's like really smart. Okay. And then he's like, oh, you're the new boy. Well, he tells him where everything is, like where all the shit's gonna be at the school that he'll need. And he goes, also, son, we have a strict black shoe policy here. Your parents should know something. Your parents should have known better. And then the kid's like, I don't have black shoes. He's like, well, go get a pair and report to me in the morning. And he leaves. All right. He's poor as shit.
Yeah.
All right. So he asked one kid, he's like, hey, where's the restaurant for lunch? And the kid's like, you mean the canteen? And he's like, well, he's like, you're not in France anymore, you bleeding spanner. I don't know. Hey, Will, I'm just saying these. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay? Like I like movies like that where it's like, I don't know what this lingo is. But I think I kind of get what he means. He's like, I know he's talking shit.
Energy and vibe.
I know he's talking shit to this nigga. So he's walking in the hallway, and a kid goes, hey, you want a cigarette? He goes, I'm not really a smoker. Come on, come have a smoke. He's like, all right. So he goes in the bathroom with this kid, right? And the kid's like, follow me. And he follows him into like kind of in the back of the bathroom. And then he goes, look at this, hey? And he pulls out a slingshot. He's like, oh shit. And then he pulls it back right in his fucking face. And he's like, the fuck? you know? And he goes, I hear you're queer. And he's like, no. He's like, why don't you dance for me? Dance like a little queer boy. He's like, you're joking. And then he goes, poof, and he shoots out one of the lights.
What?
And then he pulls the slingshot back and goes with another rock. And he's like, bro, I know this shit's scary. You're like, what the fuck? And then he's like, go ahead, dance. And he starts dancing, right? And he's dancing, and he's just kind of like river dancing kind of shit. And then he's like, now go into the cubicle and dance with your pants down. And he's like, why? Do it. No, I'm not doing that. And the kid goes. And then he just walks out the bathroom.
What?
Is that not the scary? How scared would you be that he didn't say anything?
Also, I just realized how scary it is slingshots are in general.
Yeah, so when it would put in his face, because it's just like, you know, I notice, I freak out when a nigga points a rubber band at me, and I'm like, bro, quit playing, like, quit playing. Nigga, I be like, quit playing, fool, quit playing. Like, I don't feel like getting that pop on me.
Oh,
nigga,
no.
a slingshot in my
my face?
Like this.
That's
also,
horrifying.
you don't see it's coming, so he's like, what the fuck?
Also, in my mind, slingshots are like innocent kind of toys that you see like on old school cartoons of little children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you never really think of people actually having one. You're like, that's actually dangerous.
It's a really dangerous weapon.
No child should have a slingshot.
No, bro.
But you never imagine an adult with a slingshot.
No, you never even think about it. Other than, you know, that whole Goliath situation.
He wasn't an adult. He was a shepherd boy.
Yeah, he was still a boy, too.
Slingshots.
Goliath was a man.
Yeah. But see, that's the whole thing about slingshots. They're more dangerous than you think.
That is true. So at home, our boy, he gets home, right? And he's chilling in his room. And then the brother goes, Connor, you know, it's 7. And he goes, oh, shit. They run downstairs, and they cut on the TV to catch music videos. MTV, like, it just started.
Yeah.
Right? And they're watching Duran Duran's newest song.
Nice.
Right? And they're playing it super loud, and they're fucking so into it. They're so into music. And one of the sisters like, hey, I'm trying to study. Can you cut it down? He's like, hey, just because you gave up on your dreams doesn't mean you have to give up on ours. And he cuts it up, right? And the older brother, knows everything about the band. He knows everything about every band. He's one of those. He's like a rock American. Like, he loves that shit. And then other bands too, but like he likes the idea of like the music videos and like all this shit, right? The rock and like the essence of it. And he's telling them like about like everything about this band and how, you know, they do this and they do that and they have this great drummer and they're like a futuristic band. And trust me, he's like, I think Duran Duran might have the chance to actually be like a real band that makes it, you know, like that's like a band, like legendary, like they got something. And then the dad is watching Littlefinger and he's like, they're not even singing live. He's like, I know, Dad, they're not singing. It's a music video. It's for the song. He's like, well, that's stupid. Why wouldn't they sing live? He's like, it's art, Papa. It's art. Like, and he tells him, he's like, well, I don't understand why they don't just play live if they're going to play their song. He's like, Dad, this is happening in the USA, and this video is going to last forever. It'll be forever. Always this video will be out, and it's not just about the music. It's about the visuals. It's about the song getting to the point. Do you understand? And as he's saying all this, like he just keeps going on and on. Mm-hmm. Our boy Connor is watching, and he's like, loves it. Like, really, you know what I mean? This kid can act, whoever this kid is. He's really good.
He's like connecting.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the next morning, he shows up to Mr. Baxter's office, and he still has the brown shoes on. He goes, Mr. Baxter, I brought it up with my mom. She said we can't afford it. Sorry. I bought these before I knew anything of the policy, but, I mean, they're not runners or anything. They're still good shoes. You know, I figured they still look nice. They're just not. And he goes, they're not black. He's like, well, I'm not sure what you want me to do. Take them off? What? Take them off, and you can pick them up here every day at 4 until you comply. He's like, what? What am I supposed to do? I don't give a damn, kid. You can come get your shoes at 4. Cut to, you see this nigga walking down the hall in socks. Kids are laughing. It's raining outside. He has to, and it's like an outdoor kind of. He has to walk through the rain in the socks. Bruh.
His mom's gonna be mad that she's gonna have to darn his socks all the time.
Either way, it's like they're poor, so there's no win here.
Yeah, that sucks.
So he goes to like where the canteen, like where they're all eating lunch, the canteen, and the kids are smoking and like being wild and shit. And he walks through all quiet and he gets like a little energy bar and he's about to eat it and he like undoes it. And then the kid from the bathroom walks up and taps him on the shoulder and he turns around and he just decks him. Bam!
Jeez.
He's like, oh! And he hit, like right when he moves his hand, he hits him again. And then he grabs his fucking bar, eats it, and throws the rest out of him. And like everybody's laughing, and then they all walk out. Mm-hmm. And he's just like,
is it all boys school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody leaves. He's standing there just kind of nose fucked up. And then you hear another kid like behind him, this little red kid with red hair. And he goes, "You should have danced, mate."
Yo, he does this to everyone?
I know, right? Crazy, bro.
Yo, that's such good writing because it just blew my mind.
It's good. And this little redhead kid is clearly a nerd too. He's got like braces and he's really small. All right. And cut to them talking. And he tells him like, oh, his name's Barry. He's a fucking asshole. I live in a flat with him. Apparently his parents are drug dealers and they do drugs and they beat him all the time. Like, you know what I mean? He knows his life is shit, but he's like, but fuck that guy still.
Yeah.
You know? And he goes, but anyway, where you say you want to get by at this school, you got to have a trade. And he gives him like a little business card that he makes. And he's like, I forgot what he said. I forget his name because he's just a little redhead. I just keep rating him as little redhead.
Yeah.
But he's, you seen Shawshank Redemption, right? Mm-hmm. You remember how he's like, I'm red. I'm a guy who can get you things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a guy who can get you. He said, anything you need, you come to me. And that's why nobody fucks with him because he can get you stuff.
And he's got red hair.
He's got red hair. I thought that too. I was like, whoa.
Oh.
So he goes, I solve problems for people too. Mm-hmm. Right? Cut to, they look across the street at this girl. And he's like, who is that? She's standing across the street, this beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. You can't see her yet. Like, you see her like from a distance. And then he's like, oh, that fucking cunt? She's a drug dealer, man. She always stands there, talks to no one. And Connor's like, but she's beautiful. And he walks over towards her. Right? Like, just like gazed over. And the girl looks straight out of the 80s. Like, her hair. Like, she looks like Madonna or some shit. You know what I mean? Just that, like, 80s shit. And he goes up to her. She's got a cigarette in her mouth. And he goes, need a light? And she's like, no, I'm trying to give up. And she just pulls it out. And he's like, why are you not in school? And she's like, I'm a model. He goes, like in the magazines? And she's like, yep. Going to London soon. You know, work for models in Dublin. And he's like, yeah, I totally know what you mean. And she's like, right? And he goes, anyway, I'm shooting this music video. You want to be in it? And she goes, really? He goes, yeah, it's for my band. We need a girl in the music video. And then he goes, you ever been in one before? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, that's okay. No experience. I'll ask my producer and see what he says. Who's your producer? And he points. It's a little redhead kid. And he's like, what's up? You know?
Nice.
And then he goes, anyway, if I'm going to do that, though, I'm going to need your digits. And he hands his notebook to her. And she looks at him. And she's about to write it down. And she stops. And she goes, well, let me hear you sing. And he's like, no, don't make me sing. And she's like, well, if you can't sing for me, you're going to sing for thousands of people. How much do you love this movie?
I love this movie.
Yeah. And then she's like, come on, sing now. He's like, please don't make me. She's like, either sing or nothing. He goes, and she's like, sing that song on the radio, you know. He goes, which one? She goes, the one by Aha, the new one. Isn't that odd? I love the time period. That's the new song.
I love that era.
On me.
Take me.
Imagine hearing that though when it's a new song.
I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine.
That was like one of our favorite songs. Me and my childhood friend Kelly.
I loved it in high school. That's when I really got into it.
Me too. That's when we were really into it. I don't know why.
That's when it clicked. I got it. That one and Come On Eileen. That was two big songs at our high school.
Come On Eileen is a great
They're the
song.
same song also. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, they're very similar. Although Come On Eileen has that like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, that part in the middle
I know
of it
what
where
you're
they like, it had the chorus.
So he goes, okay. Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. And you see her kind of looking at him. And he goes, that's all I know. And he stops. And he isn't great, but he's okay. Like he is like, where you ain't bad. And she smiles and she goes, all right. And she writes her number down. And he's like, cool. See ya. And then he walks away and he's like, right? And he goes back to his boy in the redhead and he's got the number and he's like, and he goes, we need to form a band. And the redhead kid's like, okay. Like, all right, I guess we can form a band. So the redhead kid, remember, he's the guy who can solve your problems. He goes, I know a guy.
Of course he knows a guy.
So he takes him to this other dude. This is my favorite dude in the movie. Knock on the door and they ask, mom answers and she's like, what you want? He's like, we're looking for Eamon. Like Aemon, Eamon. Mm-hmm. And Eamon comes over. He's like, hey, what you doing? He's like, Connor, this is Eamon, Connor, Eamon. We're putting a band together. And the guy's like, cool, come on in. So they come in the house, right? And he has all the instruments. Like he has a whole setup, right? And his dad is in a cover band. That's why there's all the shit in his house.
Oh, okay. What's the do we find out what the cover band
forgot.
is?
They do say the name, what cover band it is. I forget.
It must be something older than the 80s.
80s or 70s.
Yeah, it must be
No,
from
it had to be 70s or 60s, yeah.
Because it had to be his parents' band.
Mm-hmm.
So Oh gosh, I wish I knew. I'll
I
have to
forgot.
look that up.
You gotta watch it.
afterwards.
It's a good movie. You really
I
like
have to
this.
just watch it.
Yeah, this is a good movie. So he tells him like our boy Eamon can play every single instrument. He goes, really? And then it shows him. And first he plays the keys, shreds it. Then the drums, kills it. Then the guitar, then the bass, then like the flute, then like the bongo, and then like every instrument you can, like the xylophone. Like this motherfucker's like a genius.
Yeah.
Right? And they're both like, oh, okay, we can. This is a start, you know. So he looks at Connor. He goes, so what do you play yourself, mate? And he goes, oh, I'm a singer. I write songs. And he goes, just haven't put them to music yet. And he goes, what kind of music you want to make? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, what? You don't know? We gotta play something. He's like, I just know I don't want any nostalgia. Nothing backwards, only forward. I like, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty smart for a kid to say that. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh, you mean like Duran Duran? And he's like, exactly like Duran Duran. And the guy goes, what you think of him? And then he just repeats everything his brother said the night before to make it look like he knows every single thing about him, right? Mm-hmm. And the kid's like, oh, this guy knows his shit. So he goes, I'll be in your band. I'll help you write the songs and we can rehearse here. My dad's always gone anyway. And he goes, oh, where's your dad? He goes, at rehab. Oh, for drinking too many beers? He goes, no, the kind of rehab for beating your wife and kids. But like,
they have rehab for that?
I know, but I think he's talking about prison.
Oh yeah, that makes
you know what
sense.
I'm saying. But I like Eamon because he's everything's cool. He's cool. Mm-hmm. Like you could say he's had such a hard life that he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of vibe, you know. So the kid says how like, you know, they're going to start rehearsals, woo-doo-woo. He's like, well, we need some more musicians, okay? So they talk about, well, he's like, what about the one black kid? He's like, oh, yeah, I guess we could get him. But what if he can't play anything? And then the other kid's like, he's fucking black. He's got to play something. So they put up flyers around town that a futuristic band forming, come join, right? They go to the black kid's house. Did you not know this is about to be about making a band kind of movie?
No, I know. Well, I did think there was going to be musical, but I didn't want to go that way because I was like, is that too obvious? Sing Street, singing.
I didn't know it was going to be this though.
No,
like
I
a
thought
band coming together.
It would be more like a musical sort of element to it. Like
I thought it would be like maybe something also just about a street, like living in a neighborhood, like what goes down on Sing Street kind of vibe. But not that.
No.
So they go to the black kid's house and the mom answers. And they go, the redhead kid goes, is this where that colored boy lives? And then she goes, nah, that's 4 houses down.
Was it a white woman that?
A black woman.
Okay.
and they go, oh, sorry. And then she goes, I'm fucking kidding. How many black people do you think live in Dublin? Get in here. And so they come in and the redhead kid, they see the black kid and the redhead kid talks to him like he's retarded. So we are forming a band. You know, a band to play music because it's the 80s. Racism.
Yeah, but it's so funny because it's so different. It's not
Irish
like
racism.
It's not our racism.
He thinks he just doesn't speak their language.
Oh my god! But you just talked to the mom.
Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, "Hey, I understand you. Been living here my whole bloody fucking life, mate. Like, what are you talking about?" And so they ask him. They go, "Well, do you play anything?" And the black kid just goes, smiles. Right? He doesn't say anything. Cut to, you see these other 2 kids at the school reading the poster. Right? And they're like, oh, I can play. You want to play? He's like, yeah, I can play. And then other kids are like, you faggots, go join the band. He's like, piss off. And then the 2 kids grab the poster and they're like, let's go. Cut to, they go, right? And all the boys are in a room and they're all like, all right, this will be the band. And they go, what are we going to call it? And then the Eamon kid's like, the Rabbits. And they're like, dude, you have a serious thing with rabbits. Because he has rabbits all over his house. And they're like, you really like rabbits too much, right? He's like, oh, I just like rabbits. And they start arguing.
Who doesn't like rabbits?
And then Eamon goes, well, what about Sing Street? And they all go, Sing Street, because the school that they go to is called like Sing Catholic School. And they're like, Sing Street. Yeah, I like that. Right? Cut to them. I love this shot. They walk out of, like, they decide the band name and they're going to do it. So they all walk out and they're smoking their cigarettes, their Catholic school clothes on. And it's like a slow-mo Tarantino shot.
Oh, yeah.
As they're like flicking their cigarettes and shit. It's like, damn, these kids look badass. So cut to them playing, right? You see the black kid shredding on the keys, the other kids on the drums. And like our boy Connor singing like, you're a bird of paradise, cherry ice cream smile, I suppose it's very nice. And it's like 80s music that they're playing, you know? And they're not bad too. They're pretty fucking good. You know, her name is Rio and she dances on the sand. That's what they're singing.
She name is Rio when she dances. That's a Duran Duran song.
That's what they're singing. Yeah. Oh, it's not their song. So they're singing that, right? And cut to, you see the mom, Eamon's mom upstairs, and she's literally just putting the batteries in her vibrator. the shot was for no reason, but it was like, damn.
Just to give you some reference on what's going on.
Of what adults go through, I guess. So the boys they record themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And Connor goes home and he plays it for his brother, and his brother listens to it, and then his brother stands up and he opens the door and starts fanning it, like the room, like this. And Connor's like, "What you doing?" He's like, "I'm letting the stink out." He goes, "Oh, come on, man." He goes, "That was bad music." And he breaks the tape. He goes, "There's nothing worse than bad music. Nothing in the world." And then he's like, "Let me guess. This is about a girl, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course it's about a girl." He's like, "It's always about a girl. It's a band," you know? And he goes, "But you want to get your girl, you can't play other people's shit." And he goes, "We're learning to play." Yeah. He goes, "You don't learn to play. You need to learn how to not play. Every band, you play you. Like, you don't know how to play. You just play, you know?" And he's like, "You're not a cover band. Everyone's a fucking cover band. Fuck that. You write your own songs." And then he goes, "All right." And he goes, "There's always one person in every cover band who never had the balls to write their own shit, who could have been a rock star. Rock and roll is about risk. You risk being ridiculed. You risk writing a song, okay?" And he goes, "Now we're going to sit down and we're going to learn to write one." He goes, "I have school in the morning." And he slaps him. "This is school." So cut to him reading, right? Uh-huh. And he's reading, like, he reads what he wrote to Amon, the song that Connor wrote. And he's like, "What's this song about, Connor?" And Connor thinks. And he's like, "It's like when you don't know someone. You know how they're more interesting, but they can be anything. But really, like, once you get to know them, there's, like, limits on them." And Amon's like, "Yeah." It's like, who are these fucking deep-ass 15-year-olds?
Oh, they're Irish children.
They've also been through a lot. They're from the fucking slums.
They're from the slums, and honestly, I feel like all of Ireland has been through a lot.
Yeah, probably.
It seems like in, like, I don't know, from movies.
Yeah. So Amon starts playing a riff for him. He's like, "How about up to a melody like this?" He's like, dum, 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 and he's like, "Oh, no, slow." He's like, I like it. Just slow it down." He slows it down. And then he's like, "She's standing on the corner like an angel in disguise. She's got those dangerous eyes," right? And then Amon's like, he's like, no, not like that. And he kind of changes the melody for him a little bit. And they go back and forth, and they're vibing off each other, and they're writing this whole song, right? And then he's like, and then we'll end it with, the band will stop, and we'll go, "The riddle of the motto, the riddle of the motto," right? And then he's like, ooh, and he grabs a vacuum for effect and starts singing in the vacuum. Yeah. He's like, yeah, like that kind of sound, right? Mm-hmm. So the next day, he goes and he hands the tape to the girl. Like, they record it, and he goes and he hands the tape to the girl. And then she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're that kid in the band. You want me to come to your music video?" And you can see that shit, like, crushes him.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Yeah, but I just want to give you this because you got to learn the lyrics of the song so you can sing it properly in the video." And then he gives the address and what she should wear. He's like, "It's Chinese theme, so maybe wear something like that." She's like, "All right." And he's like, "It's called The Riddle of the Model." And then she's like, "Oh, that's really sweet." He's like, "No, it's not about you. It's about another model I know." And she's like, "Okay."
Oh my gosh!
Also, the girl's 16.
She's 16.
I knew you were about to ask that. She's 16, but she looks like she's 20 and, like,
okay.
She's lived. Like, no, she looks 16, but her vibe is like 25 because she's
a working woman.
Yeah, she's lived some life too. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "Well, I'll listen, but I'm really busy at the moment." Okay. He's like, "All right." And she goes, "So this Saturday." And he's like, "This." He goes, "This Saturday, 12 o'clock." And she's like, "Cool." And he runs off, right? And she kind of smiles. So you see them setting up outside where they're gonna shoot the music video. And they're like, "Where's the chick? You know, where's she gonna be?" And she's like, "She hasn't shown up yet." And then they're like, start going over like what they're gonna wear, right? And Amon and Connor put on like crazy clothes because it's like that's what they're influenced by, is this 80s shit. And then the other kids are like, "What? So we're a gay band?" And he's like, "No." And then right then the girl walks up. Her name's Ralphina. You found her name?
What?
That's her name, Ralphina.
Ralphina or Ralph?
Ralphina, like Ralphina. Like literally the word Ralph and then I-N-A.
Ralphina. Mm-hmm. I have never heard that name before.
Me neither.
I didn't even know that it was possible to feminize
Ralph. They found a way in Ireland, dude.
Yo,
must be a common name over there, or at least like a name that comes up.
Really?
I would assume it's Ireland. Why would they lie? The movie's so clearly Ireland.
But sometimes they name people weird names to make a point. Like, oh, it makes them more unique in the movie. Like, maybe it's even a weird name. Well,
any of our Irish, I'm assuming Will Peacock's probably also from Ireland.
Will Peacock, are you Irish?
Are you Irish? Let us know if that's a common name and other Irish fun facts.
I really like the name. You meet a lot of Amon's good, but you meet a lot of women from Ireland who are named Neve.
That's a good name.
It's a really cool name, and it's spelled a really weird way.
I like that. Neve. So they're going over the costume and whoop de whoop, right? And the girl says, I'm sorry I'm late, and she's like, oh my God, what are y'all wearing? And then she's like, who's the costume person? And they're like, oh, it's the director. And it's like, who's the director? And it's the little redhead kid, right? And then she's like, you're the producer and the cameraman? And he's like, we're saving on the budget. And then she goes, all right, well. And then Connor goes, what'd you think of the song? She's like, I liked it. Why do you think I'm here? Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, cool. And then she goes, you got really good cheekbones. You should let me do your makeup. And he's like, okay. And she's like, in fact, I'm going to do all your makeup. And then he cuts to it. She does, like, everyone's got that 80s makeup on.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So they plan out all the shots, exactly how they're going to shoot it. And then, like, right then the asshole kid walks by. The Barry kid.
No, not
it's
Barry.
him and his dad. All right. And the dad's like, what you lads doing? And they're like, shooting a video for our band. He's like, they're wearing bleeding makeup. And they laugh at him. It's like, Barry, look at these fucking wankers. We should put you in the band, Barry, huh? Put some lipstick on you. And then the kid goes, oh, piss off, Dad, like laughing. Mm-hmm. And the dad goes, what'd you say to me? And slaps the shit out of this nigga. And then, like, hits him. And then Barry's like, and the dad walks off. And Barry's obviously now fucking pissed and emasculated. I mean, you can imagine. And he looks at Connor and he just goes, and he walks off.
Yo, this guy is scary.
He's a real bully, but I like that they show what it is.
Yeah.
Like I like this movie's like, oh damn, it ain't just like he's just a bully.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you see this kid's
There's
going.
a reason why.
He's going fucking through it, bro. His dad beats the shit out of him. Like for no reason, too. It's like, damn. So they kick in the music, right? And the black kid kicks in on the keys, and the drum kicks in, and Amon starts rocking, right? And they start singing the lyrics and shit. And they show the video, and the video looks dope.
Oh, cool.
And it's like the riddle of the motto. And it's like such an 80s song. And then after the video, they all go get some food, right? And they're all having fun. They're all excited. And he goes, can I give you a ride home to Ralphina? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, you got a car? Cut to, she's on the back of his bike, like holding on.
Oh,
okay?
That's so sweet.
And he's telling her of his life and how his parents are splitting up. He's pretty sure, and all that drama he's going through. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm glad I don't have parents to stay with anymore. And then they kind of smile back and forth. And they get to her place, and she's like, by the way, you're the slowest cyclist I've ever met. And he smiles. And right then, he's like flirting with her. A car pulls up, and a guy's like, hey, babe. And she's like, Evan.
Oh, no.
And then she runs over. She's like, hey, baby, this is the kid singer I was telling you about, the one in the band. I did the music for him today. He goes, oh, right. Yo, she played me some of your stuff, man. It's fucking good.
Oh,
which probably hurt your feelings even more.
He's like a nice guy.
You're like, God damn it.
You can't even like hate him.
Yo, and then also he gives you the best compliment you definitely want to hear, which is like, and then he goes, got some Duran Duran vibes, man. I really liked it. And the kid's like, thank you. Like you tell it hurts him so much.
Oh, that hurts. It hurts so much.
And then he goes, what kind of style? What's your band going for? What's your style gonna be? He goes, we're futurists. And he goes, well, I'll see you in the future, mate. Come on, babe, let's roll. He's a cool guy. Isn't that the worst?
Is he like old though?
Yeah. Yes, he's grown.
Okay.
So he's not a cool guy.
He's not that cool.
No. So she hops in. They leave. Mm-hmm. And as they're pulling off, she's like, let's make another video sometime. And she drives off, right? So he's sad as fuck. And then he looks over and he realizes her house is a girl's home. That's where she stays. That's why she didn't stay with her parents when she was talking. You know what I mean? So he shows his brother like the video, right? And the brother like, this is pretty good. And he's like, yeah, it's all right. It could be better. He's like, no, Connor, this will be good. You got to think big, Connor, right? And keep the girl. Put her in all your videos. She's fucking amazing, right? He goes, without her, you kind of look like a bunch of little gay kids. And he was like, okay. And he goes, you kiss her yet? And he goes, no, she has a boyfriend. He's some full-grown man. And the brother's like, well, then why is he hanging with the kid? And he's like, I don't know.
Is he a handsome man or like an ugly man?
He's like an Irish guy.
But
he's just grown, so it's
he
like...
He couldn't get a woman... Is he choosing to be with a younger woman, or is he taking advantage of her because he probably couldn't get with someone?
Do you want to wait till we get there?
Fine.
Because I don't know this part of the movie either. All I know is he seems like a nice guy.
Okay, just...
Other than he's probably a pedophile.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah. But no, he's only like 21. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so okay. It's like, it's still illegal, but it's like...
He's not like 35.
No. He's like 20, maybe 19.
Well, that happened all the time when I was in high school.
That's what I'm saying. But it's still, I get what the brother's saying, because the brother, I get if you're that age, you're like, that's weird.
But girls are like, oh my God, I'm dating a 21-year-old.
Remember when you said, is he hot? It's like, not really, but he's got a car and he's grown.
Yeah, he's got all the things you want as a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah. And you're also like a mature girl. You don't go to school. You kind of sell drugs. You know what I mean?
You're
that's
a model.
What you want. You're a model. So he goes, does she like him? He's like, I don't know. He's like, what about you? He's like, oh, you seem really cool. Like he said it, he admits it. Like, the guy seemed fucking, which he does. He does seem cool. And he goes, what was he listening to? And he goes, he was listening to Genesis.
Cool.
Right? And I love the brother goes, oh, you're good. And he goes,
What?
why? He goes, no girl dates a guy who listens to Genesis.
That's
you just
not
like
true.
a guy who listens to Genesis. I like the brothers because the brother is like a diehard band nerd. So he had his own like reasons as to why.
Yo, why? What man does this like has this problem with Genesis?
Or the brother. No,
Yo.
he likes Genesis. He said,
does like
you
it.
don't date. He said girls don't date a guy who listens to Genesis. Like he had these reasons because he's like a band nerd.
Yeah. Okay.
So, cut to the brothers hear the parents fighting. Right? They start arguing. And the older brother looks at him and he goes, Mom's having an affair. And he's like, how do you know? He's like, she's always out with her boss late nights every night. And whenever the boss drops her off from home, he drops off about 100 yards away from the house.
Well, that seems pretty obvious, actually.
And he's like, if you ever notice, she's always nervous around dad and overcompensating. And then Connor's like, damn. Right? And the older brother goes, yep, oh well. And he kind of rolls over to go to sleep. And Connor's like, well, good night then.
Are they sleeping in the same bed?
Yeah, they're in the same room. They're
They're in
broke.
the same room, but they don't have the same bed?
No.
Okay.
And so he's sitting there and he's like, because he's like, he hears the parents just fighting. And he's like, and he goes to Eamon's house. And he knocks on the door. And Eamon answers and it's late. It's like midnight, right? And Eamon has like holding 2 rabbits. And he goes, what you doing? He goes, what you doing, Eamon? And Eamon looks down and he goes, rabbit stuff.
That's a great bit. Like
I
the
like
whole
it.
movie.
He's just a rabbit guy.
Into rabbits.
And he goes, you want to write a new song? And Eamon's like, hell yes, I do.
I love this.
Right? And so they go and they start listening to music first, and they're just chilling and they're vibing, they're talking. And then cut to we see our boys doing the thing again. They're being great and they're just fucking writing the song, and it's like, it's 2:00 on the edge of morning, and she runs magical circles around my head.
Ooh.
She turns to kiss me, and I crash back into bed. Because he's just like, he's coming up with it, right? And then he go, like, cut to, you see the whole band singing it, right? She lights me up. You know, how's it? Damn, that's not the melody. But it's like, fuck, how'd it go, bro? That's because that shit went hard. Hold on.
Oh, he's going to play it. Okay, all right. It sounded like, at first the lyrics reminded me of like something Sting, kind of like a Police vibe. They haven't mentioned the Police yet. Isn't that era too? No one said that. Can you play that on here?
Seconds for it.
Okay.
It's such a beautiful feeling.
Going up. That's it. She lights me up. It's that kind of melody.
Yeah.
She breaks me up.
It's kind of like U2-y
She
sort of.
lights me up. It's like that. It's like that vibe.
Yeah.
But they're killing it though. We're like, they're like, wait, they're even better now. You know. So, they're jamming at Eamon's house like, she lights me up, and they keep practicing and they're getting better. And you see even like the mom, Eamon's mom is like,
oh, cool.
Damn, this is a banger.
Yeah.
You know. He plays. He goes and he gives it to Ralphina as a tape. Cuts her listening to it, and she's like crying. It's so good.
Wow.
Okay. Also, she lights me up, and she knows who it's about. You know. So cut to Connor. The next day he comes to school. This nigga looks like David Bowie. Blonde tips, full makeup on, and like the confidence through the roof now. Like,
I love it.
Like, I'm that nigga, dog.
Yeah.
So he's you see him in class and he's drawing like artwork for his band, and one of the teachers comes up and she's like, damn, that's really good, Connor. And he's like, thank you, right? And then a kid comes in, he's like, oh, Connor, Brother Baxter would like to see you in his office. He's like, So he goes to the office and Brother Baxter's like, so what's going on here with all that? And he's like, all this? He's like, yeah, all that. What's going on? He's like, well, I checked the rule book and there was nothing in there on makeup, altering hair color, or altering like clothing. Like, you know what I mean? As long as it's the uniform. He goes, and also, and he lifts up his shoes. He goes, I painted the shoes. They're black now, right? And he goes, you remove that makeup now, boy. Why? Because I fucking told you to. Men don't wear makeup. People back in the day wore makeup all the time. Mozart wore makeup. So you're Mozart. Well, if you're Mozart, that makes me Salieri, right? And he goes, besides, you have a pretty enough face without makeup. Take it off. Come here. Use my bathroom. And he walks into the bathroom. He's like, come on in here. And Connor's like, and he just leaves. He just walks out the room. Cut to, he's like walking down the hall. You see Baxter bend the corner, full sprint, grabs him, throws him in the bathroom. And he goes, you can't do this, or we're going to get you clean, boyo. Shoves his face in the sink and starts washing his face. And then fills the sink up and like that.
Yeah.
And like drowning him. You know what I mean?
What?
We're going to get that makeup off the face. You're going to take pride in your features, boy. And he holds him up. He's like, no more of this Ziggy Stardust shit. And he leaves. Also, I like the idea that he knows who that is.
That is funny.
You know?
What?
What?
Well, because when he said to go in the bathroom, did you not immediately think like, oh, he's gonna?
That's
fuck
what Connor.
him?
You can tell Connor thought that too. That's why he was like, his face was like, man, fuck this dude.
Yeah.
But then he got in his ass though. Cut to Connor on the floor, his makeup's all coming down his face, and he's just crying on the bathroom floor as he's like also catching his breath. You know. So Ralphina sees him after school, and then she goes, "Hey, Cosmo," and he goes, "What?" And she goes, "That's your new name. You're in a band. You gotta have a name. You're Cosmo." And he's like, "Dope." He's like, "Do you like the new song?" She's like, "Yeah, I really liked it. It made me cry." Right? I'm like, whoa. And then he goes, "Who's that guy in the car? Is that your boyfriend?" She goes, "Well, on and off."
How can you be on and off when you're 16?
Because he's a grown. You really,
Yeah, that's true.
you really love him, and he's on and off. What do you mean?
Oh, jeez.
But you know exactly how. So to not embarrass yourself, you say, "We're on and off." And then she goes, "He's a really nice guy." And he's like, "Yeah, he is." And then our boy goes, "Well, yeah, shit taste in music." She goes, "What do you mean?" And he says all the things about Genesis that his brother said, right? And then she goes, "Okay." And she goes, "You know, he's taking me to London soon." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, is he?" And he talks more shit about him. And she goes, "You're jealous, Cosmo?" He goes, "No." And she goes, "You know what you need to do? Write me a happy song for once, Cosmo." He goes, "Well, what if I'm not happy?" He goes, "That's what love is, Cosmo. Happy, sad." And she walks off. And he's like, so they keep talking, right? And she tells him about her parents and how her dad was hit by a car, but don't feel bad, he deserved it, and how her mother is in and out of hospitals because she's a manic depressive. Oh. And then he goes, "Oh, so your mom's happy, sad?" And she's like, "Pretty funny, Cosmo." So she's about to leave. She goes, "Let me know if you need any more videos before I go." They hug, and he goes, "When are you going?" And she goes, "Soon." And then she leaves.
She doesn't know when she's going because he's telling her soon. Mm-hmm. That's how they always make promises, but with no specific dates.
But is our boy Connor going to get heartbroken in all this?
I guess he could. So
Connor is clearly in love, right? And he's telling his brother about her eyes are like looking clear past the moon, and sometimes she's so beautiful I want to cry when I'm looking at her. And the brother goes, "You need this," and he hands him like another record. Ooh. All right. So the next day, our boy is dressed even crazier at school. And like now he's feeling himself, you know? And he tells Amon, "We're not pop anymore. You know, as long we're gonna start playing real music and blah blah blah." And he tells him about how he's happy, sad, and that's how he's gonna live his life. You know, and this world I live in is shit, and we're all gonna get through it, but with art. That's how we're gonna get through it. Like he's like this, just becoming a full on rocker.
Oh damn.
You know?
Do we find out what the record was that his brother gave him?
They show it, but I didn't know that band.
Okay.
So cut to them on a bus. Right, and they're all going to a beach up here, and they're laughing, and they're going on their way to shoot a music video, and they're having fun. And Ralphina's there, right, and she's giving them ideas for the video. They get to the video, like the pier, and it's for the "She's Going Up" song, right? And like they plan out that she's gonna like jump in the water, like she's gonna make it look like she jumps in the water at one point. And all this shit, and they do all the planning, and they set it all up, and they do it all. All right, so they start shooting the actual song, and she jumps in the water for real.
On purpose or by accident?
On purpose.
Okay.
And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, and she's like, "Come save me!" And he jumps in, and then like the homeboy keeps filming, obviously, and she's like, "I can't swim," and he goes and he saves her, and he gets her out the water, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And then the girl's like, and then she looks at the little redhead, she says, "Did you get all that?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I got it." And she goes, "Yes." He goes, "Can you really not swim?" And she goes, "No." He goes, "Then why the fuck would you jump in the water like that?" And she goes, "For art, Cosmo. For art." You know? And then she's like, "What?" She goes, "You never do anything half-assed. You understand me? Not in this game. It's always full. Always, Connor." And then he's like, and he just leans in and he kisses her.
Ooh. Well, she did
always
say
full.
don't do it
She said
half-assed.
never do anything in this because it's like I like that we see him become
A man.
but like a rocker.
That's cool.
Like, because it is like, well, how do you? Because it makes you wonder, right? Like watching this, I did think, like, damn, how does one become Prince or David Bowie? Like, there has to be a slow. You're not just
There's a
born like
build,
that. There has to
yeah.
be a build to that. Freddie Mercury, which you see, and I like that. It's like, oh, that's how you would become that. Like, you'd be confident and comfortable in all this weird shit, and it's like, well, it had to start somewhere.
I keep thinking Freddie Mercury at the beginning of Bohemian Rhapsody, like, oh, y'all got a band. You need someone to sing in your band.
You want to sing in your band?
I
With his big ass-
can sing.
The doctor said I had a big ass mouth, so I can sing better because my mouth is
sing.
big as fuck.
I get more ranges because my mouth is big.
So, he kisses her, right? And then he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, it was great. Don't worry. And he goes, but what about Evan? And she goes, well, now you ruined it. And she walks off. Which is also like, don't bring it up just then.
Yeah, wait till you've
Oh,
had
boy.
like
But
the
he's so
third
in love.
kiss.
He's 15. This is also like he is in
His first love.
love. Yeah.
Oh, you remember the first.
Dude. So Connor walks and he talks, and they're talking. He's trying to flirt more, and she says how she's going to London. Like she brings it up how she is going to London with this guy. Like, I know you kissed me and that was awesome, but I'm going to London. I'm letting you know this. You know, and he starts talking about his brother, and she's like, "Man, you really talk about your brother all the time. You must really love him." And he says, "Yeah, I love him a lot." Right? And he's like, he was gonna go to Germany, but my parents wouldn't let him. You know, and my mom needed him. So then he was going to run away at one point, but mom found out and didn't want him to go. She loves him too much. And then this girl goes, yeah, I think you're right. You know, my dad would say that. He would always keep me at home and never let me go anywhere. And he would say, it's because I love you so much as old. Strange parents' love, isn't it? I thought that was a good line. Like, damn, that's a good conversation. You know? But that's why the brother's still at the house. Because it's like, yeah, he technically didn't go after like any sort of life, but the parents also... The mom kept him there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, it's a crutch, but it's like, it's this crutch who's begging you not to stop using it. You know? So, you see him just on the way home, he's just staring at her on the bus. This dude is, as Malcolm X would say, that brother's starving. You know what I mean? So Connor and his brother watch their mom as she's reading the paper, and they're just discussing, right? Like, because she's smoking a cigarette and how this is her only moment of peace, and you can tell like that she like, you know what I mean, that they know mom's unhappy. You know, so you see the brothers watching more dope music videos and shit, and as they watch more videos, like as time like you see his style changing with the 80s style of whatever music video he's watching. You know, and now his swag, and like now they're all dressed like Hall & Oates, like all the boys.
Oh,
they got
cool.
like
They got the
blazers and the fucking
blazers.
turtlenecks and shit. Like, you know what I mean? They
The
just
pastels.
Like these niggas look like, and none of the other boys look like that. You can tell like, oh wow, these guys, their swag is raising. You know, they're walking into the school and they all dress like that. And then Barry's like, look at these fucking Quiz. The guy who was mean to him.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes, that must be the name of the band, the Quiz. And then Connor goes, shut up, bitch, or like some shit like that. And everybody in the schoolyard is like, oh, because this nigga has makeup on and all this shit, but he's just like, you know what, fuck you, dog.
Yeah.
And then he goes, what'd you say to me? He goes, you heard me. He goes, you know I'll kill you one of these days, boyo. You really want to play with me? And he's like, you're not going to do shit. You know why? You don't exist, mate.
Ooh.
And I love how he goes, you need to realize, Barry, you live in my world. I don't live in yours.
Ooh.
And everybody in the school goes, ooh. Also, that's like a hard line, bro. You live in my world. Like, nigga, I'm the main character in this bitch. And then Barry's just looking at him. And he goes, I'll fucking kill you. Because now he's embarrassed and shit. And he goes, you know what? No, you won't. Go ahead, Barry. Right? And he's staring at him. The bell rings, right? And he looks at him. He goes, that's what I thought. He says, you only have the power to stop things, Barry, not the power to create anything. And he walks off. And Barry's just like, just embarrassed, you know? So cut to, you find out the school is having a dance.
Cool.
And Connor says to Eamon, yo, we got to play this.
We got to play the dance.
We got to play the dance.
I can't believe that back in the day, people had bands at their dances.
I know.
Because I know it happens in the movies all the time.
That's how we know it happens.
But it never happened in my life. I don't know. Do you know anyone who went to prom where there was a band?
And it was like a band from this, like a kid who was like, hey, I have a band and I want to play.
But then you hear about it too. Like my parents were like, oh yeah, there was a band at and then it became kind of like
But then again, everybody back then wants to be in a band. Nobody starts a band now. People become singers or rappers.
Yeah.
But nobody starts a band now.
Yeah, no one starts a band now.
Nobody. Whereas, like, I can't imagine when only people who were starting music were starting bands. There was no idea of the idea of like a solo artist you weren't thinking about that.
I always genuinely thought it was more of a financial thing. Like it's probably cheaper to pay a DJ for
Oh, for sure.
a certain amount of time.
But if you're getting a school band, but I'm saying like the school
Yeah.
band, like who would do it for free.
Yeah.
You're not paying them anything. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't happen in our time because I just don't think bands are like that. People don't want us to be people don't want to be in a band anymore.
You guys got to start a band.
No. Why would you want to be? Because everything you like now is a solo artist. If you're a kid coming up.
That's true. It'd just be cool to have bands back again.
I'm trying to think who's the only bands playing still. Maroon 5. That still like are actually pop like in the now. Coldplay, Maroon 5.
Those are old.
And
There's
they're
got to
old.
be someone young, like a young band.
Fun had that 1 year.
There's someone else. There's someone who's had like.
One Direction.
No, they're not even together anymore, and they're not a band. They're just a bunch of kids singing. They don't play instruments.
Yeah, I'm trying.
One of them does, I think.
I don't know. There isn't a band out right now.
God.
That's famous. I'm sure there's a band. Whoever's yelling at me watching this, but I mean like a band in the pop charts, in the lexicon of pop culture, a band.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it is.
And then Daft Punk died this year, and that's like one band lost.
They died?
No, they just split up.
Really?
Yeah, that was like all over the internet.
I didn't know that.
I know, it's a big bummer.
That is a
been,
bummer.
They've been making music since like our whole lives.
And we don't even know what they look like, so it's like they don't have to deal with fame.
I know. It's like, why would you even quit? It's a perfect job.
Because fame is always what drives the bands apart. So these niggas must really not like each other. The fact that they can go to a grocery store and be fine. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's like there's no like ego. Like the front man is like.
No, it's
too
not about
cocky.
ego. It's not about a front man. It's like, no, I just don't. This nigga stinks. I don't like the way he smells.
I don't like his wife.
I don't like his fucking wife, or he fucked my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, no. They didn't split on some ego shit. They split on some, like, it had to be personal.
Or maybe they were just done. I mean, they've been making this music
done.
since the 90s. Gosh, there's got to be a band.
I don't know no bands.
Leave it in the comments if there's a band. And also if there's one we should check out.
Definitely. So they say they're gonna do the fucking thing, right? They're gonna do the concert, the dance. They want to do the dance. Cut to our boy. He's writing another song. You hear the mother and father just arguing and shit, going back and forth. You hear the mom go, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I got to go. He goes, you're always going to be back in 10 minutes. His little finger. You say that every day. Well, go see him. I know you're going to see Tony. You think I'm fucking stupid? Huh? Take your knives. And he's throwing her dresses at her. And they're just fighting. And he's watching this shit, right? It's like, I bet he loves you in this dress, you fucking bitch. You see the brothers watching. And then the older brother grabs Connor. And they go in the room. And they cut on Hall & Oates. She's a man eater, and then the sister comes in, and then they all cut it up and drown out the parents and just dance and sing the Man Eater by Hall & Oates. It's a dope scene, bro. Because it was like, damn, these niggas are going through it. Also for the parents, how selfish.
It's really selfish.
You also have to really hate each other to be like that.
You do?
In front of the kids. You
But
have
I
to
feel
really
like
hate each other.
In the same vein, I would appreciate if your parents fight a little bit in front of your kids so that they know it's coming.
No, fighting. No, but that's not normal. That's not.
No, that's not normal.
That's like a lot to put your like. Hey, the mom, because clearly the dad's saying the mom's cheating. This is in front of the
That's
kids.
too much.
That's all.
That's
Like
too much.
Jesus fucking
They
Christ.
don't need to know that.
No, that's something you find out when you're older and you're like, damn, that went down for it. Mom was cheating on dad. You know, like. But I don't need to be 15 years old watching dad say, go wear this dress for him, you fucking bitch. Like,
Yeah.
damn, bro, what the fuck? Because that means dad knows, mom is like.
So awkward.
Ugh.
It's already. Ugh.
So Connor, he goes to Ralphina's house and he goes, you want to go on an adventure? And she's like, yeah. He takes her out on his boat. His grandparents left him a boat, the parents, right? And he goes, my parents found out I took you out on this. They killed me. And then he goes, but she's like, oh my God, really? Are we gonna get in trouble? He's like, no, they never use it. A boat, and he's like, a boat is like a musical instrument. If you don't use it, it dies. This kid is deep, huh?
Yeah.
So they go to an island and they're drinking coffee, and he tells her the lyrics to this new song he wrote. And he says how the lyrics about her and how she turned his life around.
Oh.
And then she looks at him and, you know, he tells her how she looks amazing. And she's like, will you just shut up already and get on with the song? And then he tells her how he wants to do the video and how he wants to do it like this movie, that Back to the Future movie. Like where everybody's wearing outfits like that. Like
Yeah.
That's the 50s vibe. You know, he's like, that's what he wants. And
Well, that was a very 80s thing.
I love the rep to say that, though. I was like, oh, wow. And then he says how that's what he wants it to look like and all this shit. And then he goes, in the video end, and we'll run into the night, into like with our new life ahead of us and our old life behind us, and like that's what it'll be. And then she's looking at him, and she goes, you know, you were attractive on that boat, like a captain. You're always very attractive. And he looks at her, and she's like, you're always very attractive. She's like, oh, will you just stop talking for once? And he leans in and he kisses her. And then they smile, and then they kiss again. And you see him driving her back on the boat, and she's staring at him, and he's so happy. This nigga's in a different world happy.
Is she happy too? Like, does she have the...
She's smiling. And then he goes, so we shoot the video next Saturday. No, he goes, we shoot the video Saturday next. That's what he says, Saturday next.
Oh, yeah, that's how they
Yeah.
talk.
And then she just goes, oh. That's all she says.
No.
You knew it was coming? Did you really trust Ralphina?
No, Ralphina. Will, why would you put me through this?
Will.
My heart.
So the next day, Connor's family calls a family meeting. And they all sit down. And Littlefinger's like, we need to talk to all of you. Firstly, your father and I are splitting up. Right? I mean, the mother says that, right? And the brother's like, thank you. Finally. Fucking, we know. You know? He's like, now we can fucking get on with our lives. And then the dad goes, well, it's a little difficult than that. Your mother's apparently fallen in love with the boss, Tony. And the mom's just kind of sitting there like that. He goes, so she'll be moving in with him, and I can't afford this house on my own, so we've already found a bidder. We're going to sell it. I'll get an apartment, and you'll stay, and you three will stay between us at their place and our place. And then those girls like, you're getting a divorce? Can't get a divorce in Ireland. So
Because
we're
it's a
getting,
Catholic country.
Yep, so we're getting separated.
Catholics. So
Crazy.
weird.
That's so weird. Separated. It's like,
I didn't
what
know
are we-
you couldn't get a divorce in Ireland.
Yeah, what a
That's-
weird rule.
That's so Catholic.
The fuck? Get out of my business. You know what I mean? State, government.
Is it like that in other Catholic countries? Like, is Mexico like that?
Yeah, can they not get divorced? What the fuck is going on? So Connor's like, this is fucking bullshit, bro. Him and his brother talk, and he's telling him like, man, you called this shit. And the older brother's like, man, it's just human nature. Like, it is. Like, he's not even mad. It is what it is. And they keep talking, and the brother gets pissed because he's talking about his band, right? And he's like, what's wrong? And the older brother goes, you see that guitar? I used to play it well, and I ran 200 meters faster than anyone in school. You know, I was alone with our parents 6 years, those crazy fucks, and then you came along, thank God, but you don't understand the fucking shit I had to deal with when I was just me. And you know, I used to play music. I had a band. You're just following the path I cut out for us, and you're following it untouched. You know, people laugh at me, the stoner, the dropout, and they praise you, but once I was a fucking jet engine man. And he looks at him, and he's so mad, the older brother, he just starts smashing all of his records.
Oh.
And Connor just runs out of the room and goes to the bathroom and he just starts crying. Because this is his hero yelling at him like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, the brother's just going through it. Because the brother also really loves the mom.
It's a weird situation.
So the brother doesn't know how to feel. He's just, and the mom's leaving now. And it's just like, and he didn't go anything with his life because of his mom in his head. So the brother's a deep character, I thought.
And also, it's interesting because it makes sense for the their age positions, like their age order. Because a lot of times, like they'll say if, like let's say, so you play football and you excelled in football, right? If you had a younger brother, he probably wouldn't play football because he would want to be in something that separated himself from your excelling.
That's why, like,
but because these parents aren't really interested in their kids, that didn't happen. So he's just looked at his brother more as a father figure, and so you want to live up to him, which is a really interesting.
It's a lot like the movie Onward.
It is a lot like that.
You can feel the vibe in this.
Yeah, brothers.
You know, and it's, I guess that's what really makes like the Peyton Manning family so interesting, because their dad was an NFL superstar quarterback, and then Peyton, and then Eli comes, and he, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, what the fuck is that?
That's very rare.
That's
not
rare.
Something that happens.
That is not normal. Yeah. So, they go and they talk to the teacher, and the teacher who likes his drawings, and they ask if they can film the video that he wants to film in the school. You know, the one that he wants to be like Back to the Future. It's like in a prom kind of setting. And the teacher says, yeah, we'll do. He tells Ralphina the time and day, but Ralphina doesn't show up. It's like the day of, and she's not there.
Wait, she said, oh, didn't she like tell him, oh, I'm not going to be there? Or
No, she just said, oh. That's all she said.
Okay, now I'm pissed at Ralphina.
You knew she was going to do this, though.
Why would she do that? Why don't she just be like, you're going to have to get another girl, then he could get some other girl?
No, he had everyone else there. But he needs another lead girl.
I mean, if she's like your girl and you're going to have...
Her in the thing, yeah. Because he has a bunch of extras in this, like other students. And they're going to be just dancing around and shit, right? And so he looks over at the door, and the teacher's like, hey, you got to get this. You only have an hour. And he's like, oh. So they have to start. So he starts singing, and in his head, he looks over, and he sees Ralphina come in, and it's like, she looks like from that time period, like in the 50s, and then everyone else looks like in the 50s, and the place is now packed, right? And you see the brother come in, the brother Baxter guy, and he comes in, he does like a backflip, and all the kids cheer, and then his parents come in, and they're clapping and dancing, and they're so proud of him, and his brother comes in, and his brother's like a real big success, like on a motorcycle, you know?
Like the Fonz?
Yeah, exactly. And you see a guy getting rough with Ralphina, the boyfriend guy, right? And the brother comes over and they pull out pocket knives like in a Michael Jackson video, and they do like the dance like that,
Nice.
you know? And the song is like, oh, this is your life, you can go anywhere, gotta grab the wheel and own it, and drive it like you stole it, cause this is your life, gotta put the pedal down. It's like one of those kind of songs, you know? It's a banger,
That's
though.
like the lyrics, got to drive it like you stole it. Whoa.
This kid is amazing.
Deep.
So, cut back. They finish the song. It's the reality of the gym. And, like, she's not there. What's really going on? So, he goes back to her place after. He runs to her place, knocks on the door. A different girl answers the door. And he's like, is Ralphina here? And she's like, no, Ralphina doesn't live here anymore. And then he's like, just his heart. The kid can act, like, just in his stomach, you know? And then she goes, you the bloke in the band? He goes, yeah. And she goes, I lost a lot of money on you. He goes, what? She goes, we all had bets going. All of us thought you would win, honestly. But Ralphina, she does her own thing, you know?
What?
She had been telling him
She's
clearly.
been talking about both of them. What?
And I like it. This is a good written movie, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a well-written movie.
Good written movie.
Written.
And she goes, she went to London with a fella last night. And he goes, did she leave me a message? Nah. And then she goes, but your songs are really good. I've heard them. And he's like, thanks. And then she closes the door and he sits on the stoop and he just like doesn't cry, but he's just, you know, where it's just like that heartbreak where you're like, I don't even know how to feel, numb, you know? So at his house, you see he's sad in his room, his dad's sad, his mom's sad, his brother's sad. Like they're all just sad in the house, right? You see he goes to the pier and he's just singing the, you know, she lights me up song, you know? And he's singing it and he's looking over the water because earlier they had a conversation about how when she moves to London, if you look over this water, you can see in London, maybe they'll look across and see each other. And he's singing this song to himself as he's looking across, right? So the next day he's walking by her girls' home to school and he looks over and he sees her.
She came back.
Ralphina! And he runs over. He's like, Ralphina! And she goes, excuse me? He's like, Ralphina, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, you must have me confused with my younger sister. I'm not Ralphina. And he's like, the fuck? No, you're not. You're Ralphina. I know you. Why would you lie to me like this? Why aren't you in London? Cut to, you see them in the park, right? And she's like, it was a mad idea. I can't believe I even thought he booked the tickets. It's all a lie. We get there and he left me in a B&B in town.
A what?
Like a B&B.
Oh, bread and breakfast.
Yeah. And then she goes, he said I wasn't pretty enough to be a model anyway.
What? I thought he was a nice guy.
And he goes, what happened to your cheek? You see a big bruise on her cheek. And he goes, did he hit you? But I totally deserved it. She's a kid.
Also, what is with all the Irishmen apparently beating their wives? In this movie, everyone's like beating their kids and their wives.
Other than Littlefinger, he's not.
Yeah,
He's just getting
not.
cheated on.
He's just getting cheated on.
Yeah. But she also,
Are those the only options?
but she says it's because he doesn't show her any attention. He's always at work.
What does he do? They
don't make a lot of money, but he's whatever it is. I mean, still, I don't think that's a good excuse to cheat on a nigga.
Especially when they're so poor. Let him be at work.
Yeah, bitch. You go work.
She's always working too.
No, I forgot. He says in the beginning of the movie, she's had to pick up work and that's why she's fucking her boss.
Also, yeah, she's not attracted to him because he's not providing as much as she's providing.
Yep.
Awkward.
So, he looks at her. He goes, so what are you going to do now, Rafina? And she's like, I don't know. McDonald's had an ad in the window. Would you still fancy me? And he goes, as long as you're happy, of course. And she's like, so that's my life now. Working at McDonald's and hanging with a 50-year-old schoolboy. I'm exactly like my mom. I'm mad. And he looks at her like this, and he gets up and he goes to walk off. And she's like, he goes, I got a gig, got a rehearsal. See you later. And he leaves. And she's like, oh, well, tell me about it. I'll come. And he goes, nah. And he walks off. I feel him though. That the whole I'm a 15-year-old boy and I'm just like my mama, man. And I get because he's like he clicks in him like, the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, because at first he was like, I'll be her sloppy seconds essentially, and then she keeps going, and you're like, why would I do this to myself?
Yeah,
I'm humiliating enough.
This sucks. Also to say oh, I'm like my mom, I'm a mad person, and it's like,
you're always just gonna be unhappy.
Yeah. Also, I'm not good.
Yeah.
I don't make you feel good. So you see him in his room and he's playing guitars and he's writing songs and he goes to Eamon and he goes, Eamon, you want to help me write another song? And Eamon's like, always. So they go to a park and they do their magic and he starts questioning his lyrics. He's like, why'd you write that? And he goes, she was always talking about going to London. It was so fucking important. But that wasn't her destiny at all. And then Eamon goes, you should take her to London. He goes, what? He said, go to London. You go, take her. Come back with a record deal. Get us out of this fucking shithole. And then he smiles at Eamon, right? Mm-hmm. So they turn around. And the next day, he drops off another tape for Ralphina. He leaves it at the door of the new song that he wrote.
Huh.
Okay?
But we haven't heard the new song.
Not yet. He talks to his brother to come play at the gig and do a solo, play guitar. Mm-hmm. And the brother's like, all right. He's like, it's been a while since you've been out the house anyway. He's like, I'll see you there. He's like, sounds like it could be fun. And the brother smiles he really appreciates it, So they go and they sneak into an office at school, all the bandmates, and they steal a picture of Brother Baxter out of one of the yearbooks. And they photocopy 200 of them of his face.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they go, one more thing we got to do. And the Little Red and Connor go to Barry's house, the bully. And they knock on the door and he's like, what the fuck you doing here? And then the little kid goes, we want to talk to you. All right? You think you're different than us, Barry, and you are. You're fucking nuts. But we all have one thing in common. We're all fucking useless, mate. He's like, so what are you going to do with your life? Be in our band. Gigging on the road, different cities, and women. And you know what every band needs? Roadies. And that's you, Barry. Somebody who can fight, somebody who can pick, strong, can do the equipment, break it down. That's what we need you for. He goes, you want me to be a fag in your band? A band is a gang, bro. Everyone has everyone's back always. And then you hear the parents go, Barry, close that fucking door, you little fucking shit. Close. They're just yelling at him. And then you see Barry go, fuck you. And he slams the door. And then it's slow-mo and it's them. And they're walking back. And you hear the fuck, get back here, you little shit. And they're all smoking cigarettes as they slow-mo walk down the street. And now Barry's one of them.
That's awesome.
I love the turn
also,
on that.
Kids smoking cigarettes. I don't know why it's the cutest thing ever.
Why is it so cool?
It's so adorable. And it shouldn't be. It's so wrong.
It's crazy. So the boys get to the gig. People are everywhere outside, right? And they're all fucking there. Barry's on stage setting up. When the boys finally come out, school's all there. Everybody boos them. Faggots! Faggots! Right? They get to the mic. Hello, Dublin. We are Sing Street. Okay? And he goes, and this song is called Girls. And then they sing this song. I pull myself apart. Guess I'm a human work of art. A never-ending video. And then people start getting into it. Damn, it's kind of good. Right? And this nigga starts front-manning his ass off. Throws his guitar, drops down on his knee, rocking. He's singing, bro. All the complicated boys, and the complicated girls. Just sing. He's killing it and shit, People are cheering. The song ends. Some people are still calling them faggots, but most people are cheering now. All right? And he goes, here's the song. It's called To Find You. It's a new song, and it's a slow song. And the whole crowd boos. And the rest of the band's like, yo, I don't think we should do this. We got to play a fast song. He's like, I don't want to play a fast song. I want to play this song. And he looks at Amy. He's like, Amy, what you think? And Amy goes, It's a bold move, but let's fucking do it. Right? And he goes, this is a song about thinking you have a girlfriend and then she just becomes a friend.
Ooh.
If I heard that and I'm like a teacher at this joint, I'm like, damn. Yeah, like, what the damn?
Who are these kids?
This nigga is talking to my soul.
They are preaching.
So they start singing a slow song and everyone leaves the dance floor. Right? And now there's only a couple people still dancing on the dance floor. Cut to Ralphina listening to the tape that he dropped off the other day.
And it's the
It's
same
this song. It's this slow song like, I will find you. Like, I got miles to go. But the day I was born, I started crawling on my way to find you. Like, it's a slow song like that, right? And you see her, she's just crying her eyes out as she's listening to it. Cut to all the kids now, right, on the dance floor. Song ends. It's like only 3 people clapping. Everybody else is like mad as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, all right, this is our last song. And it's a fast one, so you can get your fucking asses back out here. And everybody's like, they start cheering, right? And he goes, and this song goes out to a very special someone. It's about Brother Baxter. And then right then, Brother Baxter goes, and then they cut all the lights on, right? And then another kid goes, fuck you. He cuts the lights off. And everybody's like, yeah. And he cuts the lights on again. And then another kid grabs a fire extinguisher, breaks the lights. Lights all go off. Brother Baxter beats the shit out of that kid with a fist.
Yeah.
Because he's Brother Baxter.
Yeah, he's a
right?
bad guy.
And then he goes up to the stage and he's like, don't push it, lad. Don't you fucking push it. Right? And then he turns around and he goes, gang, this is going to be our first and last gig. All right? And Eamon's like, fuck yeah, bro. So he goes, this one is called Brown Shoes. I love that, dog. That's fucking awesome. He goes, and it's for every Christian brother bully you ever knew. And they start rocking. So who the hell are you? You're going to tell me what to do. You wear a dress and you tell me not to wear my shoes. Because they're brothers and they got the dresses on. Bro, the brothers are like, what the fuck? He goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And he just keeps singing about, talking shit about Brother Baxter. Right? And he goes, I turn the volume up. You try to shut me up. I turn the volume up and I drown you out. And he goes, yeah, the foot's on the other, the boot's on the other foot now. Yeah, the boot's on the other foot now. Yo, this kid is killing it, dog. Crowd's cheering. Baxter finally storms out pissed because all the kids are going crazy. And he can't control them now, right? Ralphina comes into the gig. He sees her. He smiles. He keeps rocking. The show ends. Thank you. We were Sing Street. You see him and Ralphina take off running. Like he grabs her hand and they take off running down the street together.
Aw.
All right? They go home. He tells his brother, hey, this is Ralphina. He's like, hey, nice to meet you, Ralphina. I heard a lot about you. I need a favor, bro. Sure, what you want? I need you to drive me to Granddad's boat at the harbor. We're all packed. We're going to England. And the brother goes, what? He goes, she has her pics. I have my demo tapes. I got my videos. And the brother goes, ha! Let's fucking go, mate! And
They could just take their boat to England like that? There's no, like,
it's like, I mean, it's super close. You can see it.
Yeah, but...
Like when they,
Where
remember I
can
told you
they
can see
port?
it. Oh, I don't know. I don't think they planned that far.
Okay.
And he goes, let's go. They get the key. Like they go and they steal the keys. They go, we got to steal the keys. So the brother goes in and he looks at his parents one last time. The mom's on the bed. The dad's like on the floor. And he steals the keys and he looks at his mom and he's like, see you, mom. Love you. Right? And he goes out. They get to the boat. The older brother goes, all right, you call me as soon as you get there, all right? No messing. Really? No, you got there. He's like, I will, I promise. And he goes, before you go, I wrote you down some song lyrics. And he's like, you did? He's like, yeah, it's about this kid and his girl in the future. Maybe you can use it. And then he looks at him, and the brother's all smiling. He goes, man, I wish I'd done this when I was your age. It's good, isn't it? Sam's about to cry her eyes out. And he goes, and they're looking at each other, and he goes, oh, you'll probably die anyway, right? And they laugh. He's like, go on, mate. And so he goes, you'll come visit me. He's like, yeah, of course. And he looks at Alfreda and he goes, you look after my brother. You look after that brother of mine, okay? She's like, I will. He goes, he's going to be lost without me. And the brother starts getting real sad. And they're both like about to start crying. And then they do that real hug. Like, not like they hug. And they like hold on to each other real tight. And they're just holding on to each other. He's like, okay, call me tonight. Go on. And he gets on, right? And they start driving off the boat and onto the island. And then they're like, all right, straight to Wales. And the brother watches them sail off. And he's just like so happy. And then he just starts cheering. Yes! Yes! And then they sail off and it starts raining on them really hard. And they're both just so happy. Sing Street.
Oh my God.
You're never gonna go if you don't go. No, what is it? You're never gonna know if you don't go now. So you're never gonna know if you don't find out. Sing Street.
Oh my God. That was so good.
It's the journey of a guy becoming a rocker.
Oh, that was so good.
I loved it. Hey, Will.
Great movie.
Peacock, dude.
Will Peacock.
Made her cry, bro.
Well, anything with like siblings.
Sentimental siblings.
I get sentimental about
I knew that
shit.
last scene was going to get you.
Yeah, you're
Well,
like,
the brother-
oh, brothers.
Also, the brother's character was really good, I thought.
Yeah.
He was really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. You got to see this. He's acted really well, too.
Oh my gosh. What a movie.
Really good. Would have never saw this coming. I'm so glad I seen it now, too.
Coming. I'm glad you told Deric to watch it.
Yeah, Will. And again, Bean Mafia. This can be you. You can be Will Peacock right now and get the joy that he just got watching this.
It's true. You can be Will Peacock.
This nigga's endorphins are probably through the roof. Get that bug away from the fucking camera. I'm sure his endorphins are through the fucking roof right now. You know what I mean? So, fuck yeah, dog.
Oh my gosh.
How funny it would have been if that camera was on the lens the whole time. So the whole time your face is just a bug.
Oh, that would have been really funny.
Hope you enjoyed it, Bean Mafia. And I hope this is a bonus beans. This is for you. This is for Sam. This
I
is
hope
for
you guys cried too.
Hope you guys cried too. This is for Will Peacock. And again, if you want this, just hit us up. Instagram. Hit me up on my Deric Poston or on Instagram at Spoil the Beans or on Twitter. Email us at spoilthebeans@gmail.com. If you don't have any social media, spoilthebeans@gmail.com and let us know what movie you want to do. Price is $100. I'll do whatever movie you want, baby. Bean Mafia, this was for you. Love you. We're out.